So it is, what day is it even? It's the 20th of December. So the week just leading up to Christmas. And if you're gift knitting like me, that means it's crunch time. I have a couple of things that are on my needles that I would really like to finish this week for a particular holiday that's coming up. One of which is the second sock of the first one that I was knitting up. This is really great. Look at this cute little sock. It's kind of Christmassy in my opinion because of the red toe. It's knit up in that Garthenor sock yarn that I recently got in the mail, which is super, super nice. I really love this gray and red combination together. I will say it's not what I originally had intended. I intended to use them separately so that this would be solid gray. But as I started working up this first sock, I wasn't really sure how much I had left or if I was going to have enough for the type of sock that I'm knitting up, because I read the pattern wrong. I didn't take into account the multiple colors that the pattern was using, so I kind of just looked at the meterage and was like, oh yeah, well I have double that in the one sock, but then I didn't account for that it was multiple colors. So I think in total it was like 4 balls were needed just because there was like a slight variation. I'll insert a picture if I have one of what the pattern looks like, the sock pattern looks like. So knitting it up in a full gray, I was just getting a little nervous as it was going. I mean, I still think I have plenty. I'm still not very good at guesstimating with yarn. Anyway, so I worked up this first sock and I did the red on the toes just to save some of that gray yarn. But now I'm playing with the idea because I'm not sure if that's even still going to be enough. We'll see. I hope so, because I really like the way that this looks. But otherwise, I'm not too worried about it because I could always shorten the cuff. So what I ended up doing was now using my new favorite cast-on method, the provisional cast-on, what I did to work up the beanie. I actually cast on some stitches of the ribbing with the provisional cast-on and then work the 2x2 rib just a little bit so that then I could start working on the heel, because what I want to do is just skip past the ribbing and put that to last, because that's the thing that kind of slows me down. So if I get the majority of the sock done, like the rest of the foot, then I feel like the ribbing will be pretty easy to tackle. So then instead of getting stuck on the ribbing and then not having time to do the foot, it could kind of help expedite the process. And I'm also just really interested in flying through, and stockinette is so easy to fly through. But then it also serves another purpose in that, because the provisional cast-on method, when you remove the scrap yarn, you get the live stitches. Similar to how I did the beanie, I can just pick up those stitches and work upwards until I run out of yarn. And if I run out of yarn where it's shorter, like the rib piece is shorter than the previous sock that I knit up, I can do like a small line of red, I think, at the top, and then just come back and shorten this one and do the same. That's what I'm working on. I'm kind of proud of myself for coming up with this. This is definitely like what I would perceive to be like an advanced thing. So I'm kind of like patting myself on the back, being like, yeah, if you just want to work on the heel and the sock foot, do the provisional cast on and then just worry about the unfun part later. And I used this very, very tiny crochet hook for the very first time. This is the smallest that I've ever used. I'm getting comfortable with these and I'm very happy about it. Personal growth. So recently over on Instagram, I showed how to secure your neckline with slip stitches. I found that a lot of the sweaters that I knit, the collars tend to just get a little worn out, baggy, and don't sit the same way that they did when I first knit them. So one of the things that I really like to do is, yeah, like I said, work those slip stitches. I think one of the more common ways that knitters have been securing their neckline is with elastic. I've personally never done that before because I haven't had elastic on hand. But now I have some, and I was thinking that I could try it with my other seamless mock neck sweater. This blue one here, I haven't actually worked the slip stitches, and you can see that it's just a little bit more stretched out than the other one. So here is what the one without the reinforcement looks like. And then here is the one with the reinforcement. Normally I do the slip stitches, but I wanted to give the elastic a try and see if that would work any better. Yeah, just kind of to compare the two. I don't know how to do it after the fact, you know, because obviously this is all finished. I joined the stitches together as I was working from the top down. So my idea was to kind of like just shove it in there and then sew it together, and hopefully it won't get twisted. So I have to really pay attention to what I'm doing. I mean, that's my only option. If it really doesn't work, then I can just do the crochet method. So of course, to do this method, we're going to need our elastic. I really just went for the elastic that I could find here. It's quite large. I've figured that having a thick elastic would be really beneficial for how thick the mock neck is here. What I'm just gonna do is kind of measure it as to how I'd like it. So I attached one end, and I'm gonna attach the other end with another paper clip, a smaller one, because that's what I have on hand. And what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attach it, okay, I'm at the center back. I'm going to attach this to the center back. To this side, I'm going to like stick the safety pin into some of the stitches of the collar. And then I'm gonna use my bigger safety pin and push it in. And hopefully that'll keep it so that it won't twist, and it'll secure it so I don't lose it, because we're going in blind here. This is like a really bad recon mission that's destined to go wrong. Believe. We need to believe that it's going to work. You can definitely see, holy cow, look at the neck. It's like completely secured in. It's like the rest of the elastic's having a hard time getting through, I think. It's really, really helpful to have a safety pin, because then you can figure out where the heck your elastic is, and you can figure out, or it's actually a great way of like pulling it. Just to be safe, I'm gonna attach these two. And kind of like, I don't want to like stretch it so that it's, here we go. Nice. Very, very nice. Wow, you can already tell it's made a huge difference. And I'm just gonna sew the two pieces together. Okay, well see, I have just a small little hole right there. I think it just stretched out the stitches. I don't think I actually like ripped anything. So maybe it will even just go back as it was. So I'll just tuck that little string in there. So it's just a tad bit more gapey right there, but I don't think it's actually gonna be that big of a deal. While I was doing all of that, I received a very exciting package from the Yarn Lovers. I've worked with their yarn in the past, and so when they reached out to me about a new yarn that they had, I was very excited to work with this yarn because it looks like it's another like dupe for Alpacino Merino or Drops Andes, so it's a very similar fiber. So here it is. Look at this purple, you guys. It is such a pretty color. This is aubergine or eggplant. Very, very nice. This is so lovely. Oh, that one's a little... I always do that. So I got 6 skeins of these, this Woolpaca yarn. So it is mixed with polyamide. It's 55% wool, 22% polyamide, 20% alpaca, and 3% polyester. So I'm thinking this won't be as stretchy. It might, because of the Alpacino Merino, that one was very, very stretchy. So I was curious. So I only got 6 skeins of it. I was thinking that maybe I could make a slip over, but then I'm not really sure. I don't think this is gonna go as far as I was thinking. We'll see what I can make with it, but I just really adored this color and I really have enjoyed everything that I've purchased from the Yarn Lovers. So I was very excited that they wanted to send over these skeins. So thank you very much to them. Go check them out. I would really recommend it. They're much smaller of a company than, you know, We Are Knitters and Wool in the Gang, so I would support them. So before I let you guys go, I just wanted to give you a little update on my socks that I'm working on. I'm on the home stretch now. I finished the toe of the second sock and just barely made it. Played some serious yarn chicken with this gray right here just before switching to the red. It was really important to me that they match, especially on the foot and the toe. Like I don't want them, because that's what you're gonna see when, you know, if you're wearing like long pants and the toes are next to each other. I wanted to make sure that they were even. So I think I achieved that, which was very important to me. And so now I'm going to pick up these stitches from the provisional cast on and start working the rest of the ribbing. So to do that, I actually cut the previous sock. I have some scrap yarn here to hold it. I cut here and then unraveled halfway, just about, to get this little ball right here. And I'm going to work in 2x2 ribbing on the second sock until I run out and then switch to the red. Hopefully that will be even, more or less. I think we might even have more gray for this one, just the way it all worked out, because there is some ribbing right here. So we'll see how much I can get out, how much ribbing I can get out of this little skein right here. It's all curly and, you know, cute, but that's not gonna affect how it's working up. I have a lot of this red, of course, because I haven't used it for anything else, and it's supposed to be for, you know, a smaller pair of socks. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is a pretty thick red border up at the top, kind of to match the toe. It's not exactly what I was planning, but I think it's most important that they match, and I honestly think that it'll be a nice way to kind of tie it all together, and I don't think it's gonna look that strange. So that is my plan for the rest of today. Hopefully I finish by today, and then I can block them and they will be all nice and dry and ready to be worn on Christmas Day. So yeah, So just before we say goodbye, I just want to take a minute to say thank you guys very, very much for being here. I cannot express enough how amazing it is to have your support and have you guys show up for each video each week. So thank you so much for that. It's been a lot of fun this year producing these videos, and I'm only looking forward to doing it more in the future. I want to wish you guys all a very, very Merry Christmas, happy holidays, whatever holiday you're celebrating, or if you're just spending time with family and friends. I really hope you enjoy it and get some rest and recharge those batteries. Like this video if you liked it, and maybe even subscribe to stick around. I'm very looking forward to posting more videos in the new year. I still have some videos to come for this year, so I'm looking very much forward to that. I hope you are too. So thanks again, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!